morning, everyone. For today's news update, we're going to get into the latest and most impactful political news from across the nations today. So, the 2024 presidential election has concluded, and the results are nothing short of historic. President-elect Donald Trump has reclaimed the White House, defeating Democratic nominee Vice President Kamala Harris. This marks the first time in U.S. history that a former president has returned to office after a non-consecutive term. Trump's victory is propelled by a significant shift in key battleground states, notably Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Now, when we look at the map over here, we also see Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada as well to add to that list. Trump's victory was propelled by a significant shift. He managed to flip back into the Republican column. This realignment has left many political analysts and voters alike questioning the future direction of our country. But what does this mean for the American people? Trump's return to power is poised to bring about substantial policy changes, from healthcare to immigration, from foreign policies to environmental regulations. The administration's agenda is to undergo a dramatic transformation. For instance, Trump's stance on climate change is expected to reverse many of the environmental protections established in the previous administration. This has already sparked debates across the nation, with environmental groups expressing concern over potential rollbacks of critical regulations. In the realm of foreign policy, Trump's American First approach is anticipated to reshape our international relationship. His previous tenure saw strained alliances and a focus on bilateral agreements. Will this trend continue, or will we see a return to multilateral diplomacy? Only time would tell, but the implications are far-reaching. Domestically, the political landscape is bracing for change. The Republican Party, emboldened by Trump's victory, is expected to push forward with his legislative agenda. However, with a divided Congress, the path to enacting significant legislation remains uncertain. The balance of power in the Senate and the House will play a crucial role in determining the success of the administration's policies. Now, on the economic front, markets are reaching to the election results. Investors are closely monitoring potential policy shifts that could impact everything from trade to taxation. The stock market's response have been mixed, with some sectors anticipating growth while others embrace potential challenges. Now, as we look ahead, the question on everyone's mind is what comes next? The transition period is underway, with the incoming administration preparing to take office in January. Key appointments are being made and policy priorities are being set. The coming months will be critical in shaping the future of our nature. Now, in the meantime, the American people are left to navigate this new political reality. How will this change affect your daily lives? What steps can you take to stay informed and engaged? These are the questions we must all consider as we move forward together. But you can always come to Blacklogic, get the latest news updates, as well as relevant commentary that may be biased, but I love your comments and I love your disagreements so we can learn from one another. Now, if you're not aware, Biden's team had briefed Trump's team on the Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire. But in other news, on November 21st of this year, Russia launched a groundbreaking ballistic missile attack on Ukraine's Dnipro, using a missile with multiple guided warheads for the first time in combat. Initially thought to be the RS-26 Rubaza, it was later revealed by Putin to be the Orishnik missile, part of the Russian missile system. Putin's spokesperson stated that the missile strike was a direct response to the West allowing Ukraine to use long-range missiles like the US ATACMS and the UK Storm Shadow against Russian territory. Now, anytime that Putin speaks about the West, it's most likely United States and the United Kingdom. The Orishnik's real purpose wasn't to change the battlefield, but to show off Russia's missile power and pressure European nations to push for peace talks. However, the Orishnik missile raises concern. It's still in testing. Russia has a limited stockpile, and the missile is expensive, making the attack a wasteful show of force rather than a strategic move. The missile is part of Russia's renewed path to develop intermediate-range weapons after the collapse of the INF Treaty in 2019. Putin's statement suggests Russia is lifting its moratorium on deploying these missiles, aiming to use the threat of escalation to pressure the West into negotiating over Ukraine. The missile attack on Dnipro was seen as a form of blackmail, pushing for political concessions. Despite Russia's threat, the West has largely ignored them, and the world remains relatively safe from nuclear escalation for now. That's all for today's in-depth analysis. Stay tuned for more updates as we continue to monitor the developments in our political landscape. Remember, your voice matters, and staying informed is the first step toward making a difference. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and stay strong. This is Blacklogic.